everybody? It is Friday and it is time for the Golf Pro Drive-In. It's my favorite part of the morning is getting to talk to you all about just random golf stuff that pops into my head throughout the week. And I'm always looking for ideas and things that I hope that you, the audience, can use to help better your golf games or better your mental faculties on the golf course. Today I want to talk to you about golf coaches, golf swing instructors, more about the coaches themselves, how important they are. And I'm going to kind of go through a list of coaches that have been just of the utmost value to me in my career. I took my first golf lesson when I was about 10 years old. And this guy, his name was Barry McCann. Barry's no longer with us. And I think he'd played some professionally or whatever, but he owned a golf store in a town in southwest part of Virginia. And that's kind of where we started getting our first golf clubs from, and our first like adult sets and things like that when we were kids. And that's who gave us our first instruction, gave me my first instruction. And I remember watching him hit balls. He had a net inside of his golf store in the back where he would teach and give lessons. And the sound when he hit the golf ball and it would pop and hit that net in the back, I'll never forget that. It was like, holy cow, this guy can swing the golf club so fast. But I would probably say he just had a huge impact on just seeing his raw power and speed, and to think, man, this guy's a professional or whatever he was at that time, was just impressive. And then as my game started to evolve and I started to become more in love with the game and getting better and trying to improve and all of that, I started working with a PGA professional at a club in Bluefield, Virginia, called Fincastle Country Club. And this golf pro, he's a PGA member, his name was Vic Sorrell. And Vic was an older guy. I don't know, Vic was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And what a phenomenal instructor. One of the best instructors that I've personally ever worked with. And I would argue that he probably made the largest impact in my golfing career. I learned so much from him, and I'll tell you some of the most important things. One of the most important things I probably learned from him was, and everybody needs to know this. This is super important. You as an audience need to know and understand this, and so does everyone else. He taught me the importance of club face and club path and how it can shape a shot or impact a shot. He was the first person that taught me that and taught me how to understand it and to use it while I played and whatnot. That was so valuable to me because here's the thing, every touring professional in the world understands those concepts. I have literally worked with college players who had no clue how that worked, didn't understand it. And this day and age is getting fewer and far in between, but I don't know how you can play golf at a high level. Let me rephrase that. You cannot play golf at a high level, at an elite level, and not understand the value of club face and club path. And I learned that from him among a whole host of other things, but what a tremendous value that was. And this was during the time when Tiger Woods was starting to become really, really big, and Butch Harmon and the things he was working with Tiger on, all those concepts were, I was doing a lot of the same stuff. I was actually watching an old video the other night from one of our lessons back in the day when I was like 16, 17 years old, and it was very much like an Adam Scott or a Tiger, but Just what a great instructor. And I'll tell you the other thing he did that always impressed me is he had a drill for everything. That's what I think I like most about him. When I went to him, he always had a drill for me to do into practice. And it didn't matter what we were working on. He might have built a gadget of some kind, or he had a drill to work on, but he always had something for me, and I got so much from that. It was so valuable to me. But he was a phenomenal coach. I don't know if Vic is still around or not, but even as I was finishing up college and looking to start a career and different things, I would write him a letter or an email, and he always responded to me. He was so kind to me, and he'll probably never hear this, but probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite, golf coaches, instructors that I personally worked with my entire career, and probably had the largest impact on me and what I do today, because I'm a PGA member. I'm a PGA golf professional, and I love to teach kids. And my son's getting a little bit older now and getting to a time where I can coach him in different sports and stuff. So I don't know how much more time I'm going to put towards coaching and instructing kids in golf, but he had a huge impact on me and my ambitions to help junior golfers have a similar experience that I had. Growing up, learning the game, or trying to compete at a high level. He started that for me. I got into college and got to play Division I college golf because of the instruction that he gave to me and the things that I learned from him. It made me that good of a player, and just what a tremendous person that was devoted to junior golf. And I wasn't the only one. He had another player that played at Virginia Tech. He probably had multiple players that I'm not even aware of that played at Division I schools. I mean, he was a phenomenal instructor and coach and all that. So from there, obviously, I went on to play in college golf, and I stopped working with Mr. Sorrell and started working with just my regular golf coach and Mike Grant, who is still at Radford to this day. And I'll tell you what I learned from him. I just pulled in, by the way, to work, but I want to continue to talk about this real quick. And I'll finish up with him since we're running a little long on this video. But here's what I learned from Coach Grant. He didn't so much teach me how to swing a golf club the proper way or this or that or anything like that. I think most college coaches already have an understanding that you probably have a concept of how to swing the golf club, and they'll make some small tweaks here or there or whatever. But I'll tell you a few areas that he was largely instrumental in my career. Number one is he taught me how to really play golf, how to strategize, the mentality of it, just how to play at a high level. Before that, I just learned how to swing the golf club well and this and that, and you could get by off of that. But how to play the game, how to truly play the game, and to hit certain shots, and how to hit a three-quarter shot, which pretty much no college player knows how to hit coming into playing college golf. Everybody just hits it as hard as they can. Taught me that. Probably the first time in my life where I really started to figure out how to practice properly. And I learned that not so much from him instructing us or anything like that, but I learned that probably more from watching him. I think my freshman year, a bunch of us went to U.S. Open local qualifying, and he got through local qualifying for U.S. Open. And he's played in the U.S. Open before. And just to see someone who never practiced or rarely played or whatever, and then go out and play in that qualifier and get through and go to sectional. From there, I got to see how he prepared from local qualifying into sectional qualifying. And I learned so much from watching him prepare for that. And then I basically copied that and started using that in my arsenal of practice and preparation. And then the third thing that is instrumental that I would say about him in terms of my career is I went to him, I think after my freshman year, because I got redshirted, and I said, Coach, I'm not playing that well, and or whatever, but look, I trust you, and I want you to do what you feel like you need to do with my golf game to get me where I need to be competitive and everything. And he said, okay. And he said, the first thing you need to do is, he said, you need to do something with your putting. Change your grip, putt cross-handed, putt with the claw, putt somewhere. He's like, but you've got to change it because you make absolutely nothing. And he's like, you just need to do something different and just see if it works. And at that time, he putted with the claw. He had a Ping Crazy E putter, huge head. He had started clawing it. Some of my teammates had started clawing it, and he made everything. We'd play putting games. He just beat me like a drum. And so I went to the claw and tried it, and I liked it, but couldn't get the grip comfortable, and then kept messing around with it and got it to where I wanted it. And the next year and a half was some of the best golf, putting at least wise statistically, I've ever had in my life. And I still putt with a claw to this day. It wasn't a fad for me. I changed way before everybody else had done it. And but I owe that to him. And just a little side note on Coach Grant. He's at Radford University, which is where I played golf. And it's a small school, but it's a Division I school, so we played against some good teams. We played against some really good players when I was in college. I played against Keegan Bradley and Dustin Johnson and several other players. They had some great players whenever I was around that we got to play against. My sophomore year, I qualified and played in a PGA Tour event. I had a teammate who was way better than I was that never got into a tour event, but man, he was so close so many times. He's had since me, he's had a couple players actually qualify. I had another teammate that got status on the Korn Ferry Tour shortly after we graduated. Another player that came along a couple of years after us, actually a couple of players off that team, got PGA Tour status. So he's coached players, or he's had impacts on players' careers that are all the way up to the PGA Tour. And I think he gets overlooked a lot of times for that. He's won multiple Big South Coach of the Year awards. He quietly flies under the radar. And sorry, this has gone a little bit longer than I wanted to. And I got other coaches I could go down the list of, because I've had so many people been instrumental in my life, but I wanted to highlight those two. And here's why. Players, they will switch coaches left and right. And I understand that, because you're trying to be elite and try to do things at a high level. However, if you have success with a coach, you might want to stick it out. Just stick with them unless they start changing a lot of things or a lot of their ideologies and things like that. You need to stick it with them, because they know your swing. They've seen it. They know your tendencies. They know all the things you do. They know how you revert back to old things. They know how long it normally takes you to get something down. That's really, really important. And that coach, if you can find someone who's devoted to your success, you're not going to find a better cheerleader. You're not going to find a better person who's motivated to help you get better than that coach. If you have success with someone, stick it out with them through thick or thin. You stick it out with them. There's going to be a lot of benefits of that. And I would use a Justin Thomas or Cam Young, who just won the Players. Their dads are PGA members and have been their coaches their entire lives. And they know their kids' golf swings. Just like if you've worked with a coach for multiple years, they're going to know your swings and your tendencies and the things you hate and you like and everything else. And they're going to be able to put together the best possible recipe for your success. So anyway, use that information. 1, stick with your coach. 2, if you don't know the importance of club face and club path in terms of how it helps you hit the golf ball or shape it or trajectory or everything else, you've got to learn that. Go to a PGA professional or a swing coach somewhere and figure that stuff out. Do those 2 things. and I promise you're going to play a lot better golf. Sorry I got long-winded, but these coaches are very important to me and have been impactful in an unbelievable way to my golf career. So anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Get out and practice, play some golf. Weather's warming up, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
It's a Golf Pro Drive.